Former House Speaker Newt Gingrich with me on the set in New York City today. Newt, welcome back to the show.
Good to be with you.
Did Elon Musk just blow up the big, beautiful bill?
No, I think he's a brilliant guy. He single-handedly has put Americans back into space in a big way. But he doesn't understand politics. He proved over the last 4 months that it was an interesting experiment and it didn't work. And I think very few House or Senate members are going to take him seriously.
Really?
Yeah, they're just going to, I mean, look.
Oh, they dismiss his comment.
They're just going to say this is not, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Now, I do think there are senators who have very real concerns on the spending side, and Trump's going to have to work with them to find a way to make them more comfortable, because it's not an automatic yes. And some are very serious guys who've been around a long time.
I can't imagine it not passing. I mean, what would happen if it didn't pass?
I have a big imagination. So I can imagine it not passing, but I would bet that it will pass. But it will take Trump personally meeting with individual senators, listening to their concerns, and in some cases, finding creative solutions outside the bill. I mean, if somebody comes in and says, I really want to help cut spending, they have a rescission bill as a start. Yep. They'll have some more rescission bills. There'll be other things they can do. And look, this is what the Founding Fathers wanted. It's a legislative process. The House has to say something. The Senate has to say something. The President has to get involved. It's exactly the system the Founding Fathers wanted.
But to me, the big deal is not raising the debt ceiling. The big deal is not cutting spending. The big deal to me is getting growth, economic growth. That's not what it's all about.
Look, if they get, and of course the Congressional Budget Office is the enemy of honest scoring. It should be abolished because it comes in with stupid scores. This bill, and I was there with Reagan when we passed, and then when I was Speaker, we balanced the budget for 4 years, for the only time in a century. All of that was done against the Congressional Budget Office. If this bill produces, combined with Trump going around the world getting money, I mean, you bring in $1 trillion in sales and $1 trillion in investments on one trip, okay? Now, all of that has to have a pro-growth impact. And you then get a good tax bill with the right incentives. I've been saying publicly, I think by next summer you'll have a Trump boom, and people will realize that it's really a boom.
Talk to me about what the Democrats are going to call cuts in Medicaid.
It's a lie.
I know it's getting people who are not valid members of Medicaid getting marked.
Let me be as clear as I can about this. It is a lie. When you see an ad about children being taken off of Medicaid, it is a lie. The fact is, illegal immigrants are being taken off Medicaid, people who are crooks are being taken off Medicaid, and adults who refuse to work are being taken off. Those are the three major reforms that affect Medicaid. And by the way, the amount spent every year goes up. Washington's the only city in the world where if you raise spending, it's called a cut. And that goes back to the Congressional Budget Office's, left-wing bureaucrats.
Okay, last one for you. The Department of Justice has opened up an investigation into Biden's competency and the use of the autopen. Newt, do you believe that the pardons signed with that autopen are valid?
No. Because I think what you're going to find out is, and this is not a Biden problem. I mean, Biden ceased to be president sometime in 2023. This is the problem of people who were usurping the constitutional power of the president, behaving as though they were the president. In one day, they commuted the sentence of 2,400 people. Now, nobody believes that Biden had a clue. And so I think this is going to be the biggest scandal in American history by the time we realize how many different people were doing things that were illegal.
You kindly presented me with a book, your book,
yes.
The new book, Trump's Triumph, America's Greatest Comeback. You like the guy, don't you?
I think he's amazing. And I think what I tried to do, we began writing this in October because I was convinced he was going to win. And I wanted to explain how he won, which is the Trump's triumph part. And I wanted to explain the American people as a movement, which is the part about America's greatest comeback. And I think in terms of capturing where we are right now, we went back and reviewed, after a lot of things happened in the last 5 months, the two things we missed the Gulf of America, And we missed the idea of annexing Greenland and Canada. Other than those two, the book turned out to be, because I've known Trump a long time, turns out to be remarkably accurate in explaining both how he survived and won, and then where we're going to go as a country.
Newt Gingrich, a real pleasure
Always
to have
great
you
to
on
be
the
with
show.
you.
Good to see
Thank
you,
you.
sir. Thank you very much indeed.